up near the top of the CWL North American standings, and we'll get right into the ban and protect phase. And you see, it's going to be Afterburner go here first.
Yeah, we've seen the perk ones really start to get attacked a ton. I mean, especially, the past couple weeks, we've seen Overclock really attacked, as well as Afterburner. And this is a particular map, because all the wall runs on the edges of the map, you see Afterburner gone after, you see Blast Suppressor gone after at times as well. What do you think, though? Flashbang gets protected. I mean, that with Concussion been gone pretty much out of, what, 90% matchups, it feels like?
And it's going to be TSM using those. They're going to be using the tacticals in this first game, you think, to kind of set the pace. The guys on CLG are going to really try and force that issue. And we talk about how good they are as an online team, able to just mess the game up a little bit, throw some more stunts, throw some more flashes. Definitely could throw the game in TSM's favor.
And kind of like I was saying, I mean, this perk 1 has been attacked so heavily.
You see gone almost every game now.
Yep, it really has been. You don't want teams. I guess it kind of depends on the play style, but there are a lot of teams that want to keep this. It's similar to Black Ops 2 as possible at times. They don't want to deal with Heat Wave up as consistently as it has been.
They want as close to just gun on gun. They want to eliminate the stuns, eliminate the tacticals.
It's a play style, right?
Yeah, it's the style of play, and you're going to see Felony get rid of active camo there at the end. So only one specialist ability targeted here in the ban and protect phase, and it's going to be active camo, and it's great to get those just one intro kill. You're able to get it pretty easily. We're going to see a Scythe come out here first. Maybe I expect you see something like a Purifier on this one, and I even think we see some more Tempest today. Probably not on this map, but we saw it a lot on the secondary stream yesterday. Some of the other regions I've seen, a lot of the Tempest being used, since that recent update where they, buffed the Tempest and the Sparrow a little bit. Starting to see more use out of those two weapons.
Yeah, we certainly have. The Tempest is definitely one that I'm excited to watch, see how that plays out. We've seen it used more and more and more. I definitely think we'll see it come into play a ton today, but I'm not surprised to see the Purifier. There's a couple specific hard points in this map, especially the starting hard point. When you talk about kind of the second hill as well, you can really do a lot of damage with that Purifier. It's fun to watch. Definitely a playmaker in this one.
Yeah, and you're going to have a kinetic armor on both teams as well. So both rosters actually going with the same exact specialist draft. Not too shocking for a map like Evac. I don't think this is one where you'll see the Tempest much. Like I think a map like Fringe or Breach even, you can see like a Tempest. Usually where you'd see like an Annihilator, I think we start to see the Tempest maybe take over a little bit.
All right, well, I want to get to you guys immediately on social. We'll take a look as we've got a lot of great questions for you guys today.
What are we asking today?
Well, I know the perennial matchup, kind of what everyone's looking for, is going to be that Optic FaZe matchup. So the first question of the day, what does Optic Gaming need to do to beat FaZe Clan tonight? We'd like to hear your guys' opinion. Is it a player that needs to step up? Is there a certain strategy they might need to use? Both teams have been playing so well. Use the hashtag CWLPS4. Again, that's the third match of the night, so we'll get more eyes on with that soon.
Both were playing pretty well until last night.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to highlight that, but when you have a curse as strong as Jack Dunlop.
Yeah, poor Jack.
We love you, Jack.
Debatable. Anyway, going into that match, I'm sure we'll have a lot of questions. A lot of people, just trying to talk on social before that one. But I think we have a pretty good match here to kick things off. TSM, this is a huge opportunity for them to get a 2-0 week yet again, and really start to get near that complexity rise area. I even think you can make a case with how close complexities play like the top teams that like them and Rise are, I don't want to say like a toss up for that number 4 spot, but they're definitely in contention.
Well, it's not even those spots. It's like kind of 1 through 7, I think, are so tight. I know there's a bit
now you kind of say everything is up for grabs.
I know there's a bit of separation. There's probably 4 or so teams that I think really have a shot to take first place at a LAN, but when you're looking at the online league, it's kind of like 1 through 7 are really close. It's been incredibly tight. And this is, CLG is obviously not out of it. There's still a lot of Call of Duty, but if they want to get into the top 8 and make it to the Stage 1 final, they need a win in matchups like this. It's going to be tough for them, to beat your Optics, your Rise, your FaZe. It's very tough for CLG right now. You need to try and beat TSM.
They need to beat everybody but like the Optics and the FaZes of the world.
So this is a must-win, right?
And even those games, they need to play them pretty close.
And so I think it's kind of gotten to the point already with CLG where games like this are a must-win. It has to be.
I think that point has already been passed. I think we're past the point where those games need to be must-wins. You're 1-7 or 1-8, whatever it is.
But you just have to make it in the top 8 to get to LAN.
Still, I think a lot of these games should have been must-wins probably a week or two ago. You see, it's going to be Evac Hardpoint, our game number 1. If you're new, it's going to be a 250-point score limit, 5-minute time limit, no respawn delay on the clock.
All right, let's kick things off. Wheats was the hero of Game 5 versus FaZe with that massive streak in S&D. I want to kick things off with him right away. He's going to be pushing into the first hard point. You can see via the X-ray vision, he's got players basically coming at every angle. That was everyone dropping but Cole Chan. He's late to the party, and early control going to be going to CLG.
And as good a start you can get if you're CLG. And something of note, we can talk about it a little bit throughout the entire day, but a lot of VMP. Everybody pretty much running the VMP and the CUDA now, and you notice the Vesper doesn't get banned at the beginning of the game, but players still like not to use it. A gun that got hit pretty hard recently, and I think these other two SMGs, specifically the VMP and the CUDA, definitely outplaced the Vesper as the go-to.
Oh yeah, it certainly has. I think the Vesper has its uses at close range, but right now those two certainly have taken over control. You see some nice shots there coming in from Wheats. He's 3-3 here early on, but look at the top of the scoreboard. CLG, all points going their way. They have a 38-2 advantage right now, but Wheats and crew getting set up pretty well here for the second hard point. Look to be coming back in this one, but that's one of the more dominating efforts we've seen on a starting hard point. 45-2, Matt, that's ridiculous.
Without a doubt, and Cole Chan 0-3 very early in the game, but this TSM team's going to win. He's going to have to go off, and I think he's probably starts to play better. And if TSM can just hold on to this hill, they're going to make up a ton of time. This is one of the more difficult ones to break, especially if you don't have any abilities. And this early in the game, nobody really has much of anything. I think going into the next hill, if you're TSM, you can rack up some kind of streaks, rotate a little early, maybe have a lightning or a hellstorm. You're in a pretty good spot to take that next hill as well.
All right, we're trying to get some action here with the TSM guys as they have lost control now to CLG of this second hard point. CLG trying to maintain this early lead they've got going. Cole Chan picking up one, trying to push in here, see if he can get any more players as he's trying to push through, but not going to be able to pick anything else up. We've got just under 20 seconds left here. Not surprised to see TSM has opted to rotate. They want to set up for the next corner hard point.
Yeah, you don't want to start feeding CLG just easy kills inside the hill. Obviously, you're going to give them streaks, and this is the next hill is where something with a lightning or a hellstorm can really kind of turn the tide. So like the idea by TSM to rotate early, but they got to win the gunfight. See if Fire wins one early there. He's going to be running the XR2. We'll still have to take a note of how he's doing with that gun as time goes on. But see Proofy in the hill with the M8.
Well, let's check him out. Let's take a look.
Let's check him out. He's doing pretty good. 9-3.
Yep.
I'd say that's pretty good. And he's using Annie up, which is interesting. I actually cycled onto his class before. Not going to be running fast hands. Going to be going with Annie up instead.
And this is a hard point where if you can get control, you can certainly do damage with an AR at range. They're trying to break in. Now you see a lot of green coming in the kill feed. That is going to be CLG picking up kill after kill. And now he's in a nice spot here with the AR. Can he get damage done? Players pushing him from basically every side here. I think a heat wave came in on that player in front, saving his life for now. Managing to stay alive, turns around the RK5 and is going to ultimately drop the Weeks. But the damage has been done. I mean, 100-36 is the advantage. CLG entirely controlling the pace here of game one. Excellent stuff.
It's a blowout right now, but I would not be shocked if TSM comes back.
Oh,
you got Proofy kind of flirting around the 500 line. I mean, he was, I believe, 8-7 just a second ago. So he's 9-7 now, currently on a 2 streak. But you know, if you can get Pac-Man and Cole Chan really start playing better in this second half, you have a great chance to come back. You're getting a good game out of Wheats, and then Proofy is always going to be around, even.
Well, he's able to get one. There's 2 more in the hard point. Can he pick them up? Nope, they're going to spot him there in water. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get any more damage done with that. You see an HC going to be ready for Cole Chan. He's going to try and dip into water as well, but he's going to end up following. Method's going to be your man at the hard point. You can see how effective that heat wave can be. Player comes soaring in and just gives Methods absolutely no chance to win that gunfight.
And here you can see TSM starting to come alive a little bit. They're going to take a majority of this hill, not make up a ton of time. There's still the game not too close. CLG still with a pretty big lead. But if you're TSM, you don't lose that first hill as bad as you do in the first rotation of hills the second time around. You have a great chance to make this comeback.
You do. And again, this series may very well come down to the S&Ds, and that's been one of the better game types for TSM.
Yeah, TSM has been fantastic in Search and Destroy, but with the addition of Perplex, CLG should be a pretty good S&D team as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He certainly adds something to that roster. You see all the kills coming in, going to be for TSM. Can they settle down? This is where they got pounded the first side around. 46-2 through the first hard point. Can they kind of flip the odds in their favor a bit?
Wheats is so close to Lightning Hellstorm as well.
Yep,
I mean, he gets that.
is.
They can take a lot of time on this second hill. He's not going to be able to pick up any of those. He's going to die 75 points away.
And look, they're all spawning out.
Yes, but still, the lead starting to shrink for CLG. They got to start going big here, winning some gunfights. See a car comes in. gonna just waken Felony there. He has Flak Jacket, so a lot of the times we don't see players opting to use Flak Jacket. That time ends up saving Felony.
Yeah, it certainly does. I think it's become more of a thing. I mean, with HC Car as dominant as it is, like more players starting to run it, especially in something like Hardpoint where they end up kind of running wild. Unless it gets banned, you really have to be aware, heads up, of those HC cars. Let's watch BL Fire now, 15-11. He's on a 4 streak currently. He has his Scythe, and I believe, yeah, he picked up a VMP off the ground. So he has
when
XR2 as well.
Afterburner and Overclock are gone, there's no reason not to have Flak.
That makes a very simple choice too, doesn't it?
It's a very easy choice. I mean, a lot. You could go with no perk one, but at that point you might as well just go Flak.
What would you? I mean, I guess you could go. I mean. No, I think you just have to run Flak. I mean, you don't have to. You could do, what, an extra perk on one of your guns, or an extra attachment on one of your guns, maybe.
I guess, but I feel like you'd rather almost have Flak.
Or you could, yeah, you could do perk 3 greed like he is. Well, it looks like he actually has the Flak as well, but you could run Blast Suppressor and Attack Mask as well. But here we are. Plenty of time still on the clock. 80-point advantage right now for CLG. They're doing an excellent job holding down game 1. We're looking to get through. We have 4 series for you guys tonight. I know we started a little bit late, apologies, but I think there were some issues with some of the guys there in that last match in Europe, but we're ready to rock now. CLG looking strong here early on. Watching methods right now.
Look at on the rotation for the next hill, actually. I was on board with BL Fire. He was all the way in the back, and Wheats actually figures out he's just trying to hold that spawn in the back. He's able to take him out. Felony, though, with a big 2-piece in the kill feed. Does not matter, as it's going to be TSM in control of the hill. I don't believe anyone.
Nice job.
I'll cycle through the guys on CLG, but I don't believe anyone with streaks for CLG. No, nobody able to have any streaks to try and break this. You got BL Fire with a Scythe, and you got Felony with a kinetic armor.
I think I heard the Scythe for a second, so that might have been out of.
Might have been Proofy. Yeah, it's Proofy with the Scythe out for TSM. So he can definitely pick up some big kills in the hill, and actually he's going to drop right away. It's only one player left.
Dropping really
fantastic
from TSM.
Break by CLG.
Yeah, that's what's been tough about this game to watch for me, because I think we've seen, I mean, outside of the first hill, obviously, we've seen TSM rotate early to the second hill. They rotated early to the third hill the first time through. They did on the second and third the second time through as well, but got broke within 10 to 15 seconds each time.
Yeah, just not winning those gunfights.
Yep.
You know, they rotate early, they get in those great spots, just not winning the gunfights.
But that's the kind of discipline that helps you win games. You know, in the long run, over the course of a season, if you're playing proper fundamentals in Hardpoint, it's going to end up paying off. But I know what you mean. You got to win gunfights to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, you can be in the best spot in the world. You don't win the gunfight, it doesn't matter. And BL Fire's been a huge part of it for CLG. I mean, 23 and 17 right now, just doing a great job with the AR. And just look at Wheats. I mean, coming off the strong performance yesterday, 29 and 20 here. I know about halfway through this game, you kind of think in the overall game clock. Obviously, it's 3:25 left.
All they need to do right now,
there's a lot of time left.
They just need to dominate one Hardpoint, Matt. They're right back in this. So definitely a good opportunity here for TSM. We'll keep calling the action right now.
It's the same kind of scenario that they were in the end of the first rotation hills.
True. Yeah.
I mean, right? They were within striking distance. They made up a ton of time here, and then went right back to the beginning. They had that setup, and it just gets broken right away by CLG. So they just need to do a better job holding down this Hardpoint TSM.
All right, well, headshot coming in there for Colchan. He's ultimately going to end up dropping. We haven't really seen much action from Felony. Let's watch him rotate over to the first Hardpoint. You'll see the rotation coming in just a couple of seconds here as he's going to be getting set up, and he looks like he's actually going to be wrapping around the outside. I like this. Just checking to make sure there's no one pushing from outskirts. Gets in, and now this ends up flying in right behind one on steps. Gunfight he potentially could have won. Timing just not really working in his favor. Let's go with Perplex, though, coming off the respawn, because he's the new guy in town, right? New guy for CLG, 18 and 31.
And I smoked him the other day, and he was like, man, my S&D is going to be good, but I definitely got to work on my respawn. This is a guy who, before CLG picks him up, pretty much just playing S&D tournaments.
Okay.
Not really doing anything too much.
If you're not really on a team and you don't need to play Variant, why not focus on S&D? You're playing all those tournaments online. I mean, I get that. Makes sense.
Yeah, but now when you get picked up by a team in the league, it's going to be a lot harder to just get adjusted to respawn game modes. And right now, I mean, 20 and 31, but just doing a good job flying at the hill, taking the hill time now for CLG.
Oh, sorry about your luck there, Cole.
He's going to be able to pick up an HC, yeah. It's going to be Perplex earning one himself. He's got one player directly in front of him. Some wild shots there as Pac-Man wins a gunfight. And now, the few seconds left in this hard point, TSM needs to go big here. They need to be able to hold us down, and love the use of the Purifier here. Should be able to buy TSM a few seconds. You see, Colchan just going to fire down some shots. He's going to be able to take out one. Has a player pushing from above, able to take out another. And you see the spawn starting to come in from CLG. They are starting to spawn way out, and that Purifier does a great job controlling this hard point at the outset.
And that could end up being perfect, though. Tac Mask does pop. He has a nade to go as well. Trying to back up all these players. Colchan not getting a ton of kills right now. now since he lost the Purifier, but look how good of a job he's done holding them back, and now they're only trailing by less than 10 points. Colchan trying to get it done, but you see the Purifier coming in for the other side. That was Methods. Now he's cooking things up, able to pick up a couple. Third outside, grabs a fourth as well.
Oh
Methods going huge. There's 5. Can he get a 6?
No!
Has him melted as well. Full streaks from Methods. 8 points remaining needed
look
for them.
how far TSM spawning out. They pick up 2, but I don't think it's going to be enough here, Mabe. CLG able to pull on, take game number 1 here against TSM in our first series of the day. And you saw how damaging that Purifier can be, man.
Yeah, you saw it from Colchan. I think, what do you have? You have some sort of propane tank. Half of his was used basically just trying to hold players back. All of Methods was used to turn faces into some sort of melty face goo.
Melty face goo.
Melty face goo is.
Yeah, I knew you were going to be a little bit loopy, a little bit crazy today.
I'm fired up today. It's going to be fun. But awesome game 1. You saw TSM start to come back. CLG controlled the pace really throughout the, opening 8 minutes, it felt like, and then you saw TSM come back. They have a good hard point.
I give props to CLG. I mean, we've casted a lot of their games where they look really good like that in that first rotation, and then they just lose. Or like other games, like an uplink, where they just lose in some crazy fashion. They're able to hold on, take that game 1. CLG just needs to like close out these games in that fashion. They can't just let teams like TSM hang around.
Well, that's been the, when you're talking about, and I'm sorry I don't have the exact stats in front of me. We're talking about CLG, DT, Luminosity, a couple of teams really struggling.
Give us an official stat off the top of your head.
No, I'm saying they've been struggling in Game 5s. They really have. I think, what was it said last night? That was DT's 4th or 5th loss in Game 5s. I know LG's had a couple as well. CLG's definitely had a few have casted their Game 5 losses. So being able to close out series, you don't even want to get to that Game 5, obviously. Shut it down to Game 4. You won Game 1. This needs to be a 3-0 or a 3-1 for CLG. If this goes 5 games the distance, I think it favors TSM, right?
Yeah, especially with how strong TSM's been in Search and Destroy. We can take a look at the scoreboard real quick. Felony with a big game, 32 kills, 31 deaths. Only goes, +1, but I think BLFI are really the man for me on this CLG roster. 31 and 24, only 47 seconds in the hill, but he just did a great job holding down those spawns with the AR all the way in the back. Very effective with the XR2. Waits for TSM, coming off of that hot game yesterday where he was very effective. I think that 9 straight kills.
Yeah,
we were talking about
something like that.
Something like that.
Crazy.
And he, picks up a big game here in our Game 1 loss. 32 and 27, a minute 33 in the hill. Colchan, we talked about his little slow start, comes back to finish 30 and 30, just not enough.
This one was tight from start to finish. Can't wait to see the end of this one. This is where Colchan did a really good job. He ran out of his Purifier, but he held these 3 players off for what felt like a solid 20 seconds. I mean, he did a really, really solid job here. Where it fell apart is when Methods opts to, kick off his, I think right here you see it pop in. This is when he gets toasted. This is when Methods is going to end up popping that Purifier, and now he just puts on a show here, just cooking everything in sight. I think that's maybe his 3rd or 4th kill, picks up a 5th here, then he ends up picking up a 6th. He goes off. That was incredible to watch.
Yeah, some great stuff there out of Methods. And now, I mean, CLG, they win game number 2. That'd be huge.
Yeah,
that would be huge. They win game number 2.
I'm not saying they need to win this, but if they can get a 2-0
advantage.
They
need to win it.
Okay, well, they need to win the series. You think they need to win the S&D?
Yes.
It's a must-win? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I would definitely favor Uplink in terms of TSM. And then I think if TSM really kind of figures things out and respawn with, which if they play an Uplink, they win that, you figure they win the CTF as well.
Sure, just waiting on...
I think we're just waiting on invites, the game.
Yeah, I was just checking to see if you could get in.
No.
Okay. Well,
I couldn't. Could you?
No, I cannot. Well, as soon as we can get in...
Then we'll just get into the game.
Kick off game 2. Yeah, just waiting. Do I need to restart? Don't tell me I do.
No, I don't think so.
Nah, we'll be all right.
I just did just
wait on invite. But yeah, no, I guess I can kind of agree with you on the S&D thing, just because. But what I do think is going to be tough. So let's take a look here. In case you didn't watch any of the Australian or European matches earlier today, it's going to be let's say a hardpoint evac. It's going to be S&D stronghold, uplink on Fringe, CTF on Breach, and S&D on evac. So lots of evac action potentially tonight if it goes 5 games. S&D stronghold. Who do you think this particular map is going to favor?
Last time we saw this, it was TSM versus, was it TK, where we saw the fantastic shots at a Colchan versus Theory? We casted 1 game of TSM when they were rushed.
She really, really controlled the pace with the sniper.
And he went off with the sniper rifle on this one. So look for that in the ban and protect, how that's affected, whether we see protects from it from the side of TSM or whether we see bans of it on the side of CLG. I think that's going to be a telling thing early because Colchan is just silly with that thing.
Let me know if you can get back in. If I'm going to restart as well. Nope.
No, they just don't
Okay,
invite us to the lobby.
if anyone can hear us, we just need an invite to the lobby. I'm looking at you. I'm blaming Pac-Man. It's got to be Pac-Man for TSM.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, he holds a grudge against me for being a taller and more handsome version of himself. So he does not want me in the lobby,
Which is understandable.
I deal with on a daily basis.
It's understandable. I mean, you're a
The
very
struggles,
tall, handsome
the
man.
struggles of being tall and handsome. It's very, very difficult. But
It's also Maven's birthday this coming up.
Monday. Yes, it is. I turned 31.
That's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's a complete shock that you made it that long. So I'm in the lobby. You, my friend, are
Did
the
you
only
get an
one
invite
not
or
in
you
the
was able
lobby.
to
I
join?
got an invite. So the players
Let me
clearly,
check. I probably got one too.
they enjoy me
Hey,
much more than they
I
enjoy
probably
you.
got one too. I didn't.
No, you didn't. No. Sorry.
That's all right. I feel a little bit left
It's
out.
your birthday, and they don't even invite you.
That hurts me.
How left out do you feel?
Can you invite me?
I could, but I don't want to.
Just bring me into the lobby, please.
Yeah, I will.
I appreciate that very much.
No problem, man. I'm a good friend.
I mean, it'll be difficult to drive the Codcaster if I'm not in the game.
Yeah, that would be very difficult.
I could try.
I should have invited you now. No?
Do I
No,
need to,
Maeve?
do I need
No,
to restart
Maeve?
everything?
Are you okay, Maeve?
Are you looking at my notifications?
Yeah. I hit you with it. He is a man who struggles with electronics, let me tell you.
What? You're looking at my screen. All right, I'm restarting everything.
I don't understand how.
Watch this.
This is so difficult
Restart.
For you.
How do you feel now about,
It's
about
so
that now?
difficult for you, but let's go through the matches.
99% of problems you have with the computer, Matt, are solved by a restart. I read that
in a book.
on Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's probably a lie. Anyway, CLG versus TSM. I would probably take, even then, the fact that I know TSM is down one game, I would take TSM in this series.
You're still feeling TSM?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard not to, just with the way
Right.
their seasons have been going. I mean, how could you not? TSM is, I mean, as much as FaZe was kind of a heavy favorite over TSM, like right now, if you look at the standings, that's kind of the difference between TSM and CLG right now, right?
Yes.
I mean, just with the way CLG's been playing. And I know they have a new player. You're going to have kind of you know, if there was some, I guess, camaraderie issues between team members and stuff, you think when you get a new player, it's kind of you kind of refocus a little bit. You kind of get a fresh start to a degree.
Well, I think what happens is you have one player and they're underperforming, and everybody like kind of knows that player is underperforming, and nobody wants to say it. It just kind of like there's just the morale of the team just kind of goes down the drain. I think that might have been what was going on with CLG. Granted, I mean they look great in that first one. It's about winning games. I mean, they'll look great like in spurts. They just got to put it together for an entire series. And
I mean, they've had maps where they look fantastic. Like CLG, they're back. Let's go.
The first match,
and then it's
the first match on secondary is really good. Complexity versus Elevate. Talk about two really strong teams right now. You got an Elevate team who has won a few games in a row. I want to say like 3 or 4 or something along those lines. And then you have a Complexity team who, I mean, they beat FaZe, they beat Optic. I mean, these guys are just beating those top dogs. What happens in that series, I think that'll be a good one. Don't know who wins that. That's one that almost is too close to make a prediction. DT versus Envy. I think that is one that Envy just kind of keeps their win streak going. I think it's one where Envy just keeps kind of running over people. I think they run away with that one, potentially 3-0. Then TK versus Rise. It's a huge match for Team Caliber. Rise, they've been struggling. No, I'm sorry. Rise has been just destroying people.
That was me
TK
reacting to the fact
has been
that
struggling. Yeah,
I can join all of a sudden.
Yeah,
so
you can join.
We're in.
TK, they need to win in the worst way, and they go up against a tough Rise team tonight.
Yeah, Rise has been playing phenomenal, and I mean, we have so many good matchups tonight. Just looking across the board, you know, sometimes you have those days where you look at it and you're like, there's gonna be a lot of 3-0s, 3-1s. I know yesterday we had game 5s for days, but when we just glance at this real quick, I mean, there are a lot of really, really good, really, really close matchups from top to bottom. I think these are going to be great. I mean, I know Envy is certainly favored over DT, and you know, Rise and TK, depending on what TK we get. But outside of that, I mean, these matchups are great. Yeah,
and you're going to see a SVG ban from the side of CLG there early. We talked about how effective Colchan can be with the sniper rifle. That one leaves. You know, Afterburner go as well from the side of CLG, and Proofy opting to go get rid of rapid fire here in the S&D. Anything you kind of see foreshadowing coming out of the ban of protection phase here, Maven?
I mean, the big thing we usually see out of the side of TSM is they like to protect the SVG, protect overkill.
Right away.
And we've seen them go out that many times. We
actually
actually saw
combo play.
We saw Proofy kind of mess it up last week. Remember they protected overkill.
And that was bad.
He banned the SVG, I think is what happened. I wouldn't be surprised if we still see Colchan using the Locust. He loves his snipe. I think that'll certainly be a player. Is there anything that could really assist these guys? I don't know. I don't think there's anything major that jumps out to me, but I do like you're seeing both Afterburner and Overclock going to be going back-to-back maps here.
I like the HC going as well, and this is what the Vesper, I think, can still be effective on, like when you're pushing into Mansion. I think
S&D in general it can, because you just need that like one kill, that one close range engagement, you get that kill. It's not great to chain kills together. I think in S&D it's still good for that one close range kill you need, right?
I would disagree with you. I think some maps it doesn't work. Like a map like Infection.
Infection, if you're playing on the B-bomb site, I would love to have a Vesper. I think there's a spot on every map you could talk about using a Vesper.
Oh, well, okay, so there's a spot on every map. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think it has its uses. Like,
well, you could say the same thing with like a shotgun. Oh, yeah, I would love to have a shotgun inside Grandma's house, but that doesn't mean you're going to run a shotgun.
Compared to what the Vesper was before, like it's much more situational now. You can't use it everywhere. It's not an SMG sniper hybrid.
Yeah.
You have to use those. Oh, honestly, okay, what you just said, actually I agree with entirely. Where you would think about using an Argus is probably a good spot to use a Vesper now. I mean, that's kind of how it's been affected. It really has. It's much more just for those close range engagements.
And now let's take a look at the specialists. You got a Vision Pulse from both sides, Kinetic from both teams, Heatwave and Active from both sides. So S&D, I feel like we're starting to see a lot of these same specialists start to come up. A lot of the same abilities. Occasionally we get like a glitch or an overdrive thrown in there. Otherwise, it's pretty much kind of the standard abilities that we see. And this is pretty much a standard player here with Vision Pulse, which seems to be really popular all of a sudden. Like, we didn't see it at all, I feel like, the first 2 weeks. And then it just started to
I think
go
all
up
it
the ranks.
is it's one of those, almost like, we're talking about the Vesper being situational. The Vision Pulse really is, too, in the fact that I think players are kind of learning how to use it to a degree, like when you want to pop it. Maybe it's just, the game was not that long when we first got into competitive play. People weren't really sure where to use it. It's probably just getting more comfortable. I mean, honestly, Camo wasn't even used that much when the game first came out. People started using that more.
Revan was like, oh, Camo, never use Camo. That's like a bad idea.
Yeah, now it's a staple, really, in all of these game types. I think it's more 100% about when to use Vision Pulse, because at first, the fact that you ping yourself, give away your location's a little bit scary, but if you use it at a good time, if you're set up to use that,
I'm
and also
surprised we don't see Kinetic
really
getting banned out in Search and Destroy more.
I mean, it gets banned in all game modes pretty consistently. I mean, it's probably the ability that's targeted the most outside of Overdrive.
Overdrive, you only really see it. Oh, well,
but
those
it's
two
every
game
CTF,
modes.
it's every uplink.
Pretty
Kinetic,
much.
I think, is right up there with the next one that goes in most game modes. I mean, Overdrive, we've seen banned in S&D. I mean, not as much, obviously, as the others, but we've seen it banned.
But I think we've seen Kinetic gone a lot more in hardpoint.
Sure. Well, that's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah, and I think we'll start to see it more in S&D as well. I think it definitely becomes one of, if not the strongest overall. Like, I think in the overall terms of like the most useful, whether it's like gun or ability, I think Kinetic's best.
I could agree with that.
I think Kinetic's best.
That was my favorite when I first started playing the game. I was like, I'm guaranteed to win a gunfight? Okay, nothing's a guarantee with me. I might miss all my shots.
I mean, the guy could just headshot you instantly and you're dead. But
but I don't think people can. I'm very, very quick and sneaky.
Very nimble for your age.
Yes, I am.
It's going to be a stronghold search and destroy. First to 6 rounds. Team's going to switch sides after each round. It's going to be 5 seconds to plant the bomb. 7.5 views.
So he is going to be going Elcar M8. So no snipe from him early on. Look at this stack. Let's look at the 3 players that are inside a mansion right now. So just to give you an angle of what they're looking at here, you have the angle from Methods. You can see from Felony as well. He's top bedroom, and then for Perplexed. You guys at home that are learning how to play S&D, you can really get a good idea on how to defend Mansion, because it is so difficult.
Well, they're going to stack Mansion, then they have that one player in the back who's going to be able to watch if they get onto the B bomb site and they come through bunker. So very nice setup there for CLG. It's going to be quickly turned into a 2v2 game here between BL Fire and Perplexed, going up against Proofy and Cole Chan. Perplexed, the new player for CLG. Maybe let's jump on with him. He's a very talented search and destroy player. Back when he was playing with Stunner with the guys like Hook and TJ.
Well, he's thinking about purchasing a new vehicle.
Yeah, their S&D game was amazing. And I think he brings just a great search and destroy mind to the CLG team, which already had a pretty good one in Felony.
I'm done looking at him.
Okay, that's fine.
He was staring into a car.
Yeah, he was.
But now some action starting to happen here. Under 20 seconds to go. Proofy might get caught from the left side. You saw a player pushing into bottom mansion, but it's going to be Cole Chan able to pick up the kill. Now BL Fire by himself, not able to win the gunfight as Cole Chan goes big, picks up the final 2 players, and gives round number 1 here of game 2 to TSM.
He picks up 3 that round, and I think Perplexed actually thought that maybe that other player was already on the bomb site, and that was the second player he was kind of trailing. He would have been able to come behind both, and just some great COD timing right there. You're able to see Kulchan pick up 3 that round. That one on Perplexed, probably the biggest kill. Without a doubt, it's going to be TSM winning round number 1.
Well, I'm going to stick with Kulchan. I know we like to go on with the offense, but I want to see his work towards streaks. I know he still has a ways to go because he doesn't have an HC. Dart's going to be his first option.
Work towards streets, man. We're a while from that. You're excited today.
No, dude, he can get there. He
gets
started
3 kills. We're looking at streaks.
Oh, he's going to get there. I have faith in the young Kulchan. He never lets me down. And look, if I wouldn't have left him, we would have saw the gunfight. It's about to happen.
And he's dead.
Kulchan's going to drop in. There are no streaks to come.
No streaks. He was 350 points off of a Dart.
Yeah,
he's not going to be able to retain it.
350 is nothing, man. You get a couple assists, a few kills, you defuse a bomb, and you're ready to rock.
350 is another 3 kills.
I don't want to hear it. 4v2. CLG,
4v1. Yep, this is one that, barring a massive collapse, CLG should be able to win this round. Proofy's scared for his life in the back of his spawn. Going to be able to spot one on bomb.
Proofy's not scared of anything.
I bet you Proofy's a little bit scared.
He's not scared of anything. He's going to clutch it.
By the way, he's jumping and looking in every direction. I would judge by he is scared of where to go right now.
Look at this triangle of red just around him right now.
He has looked everywhere and has not found anyone.
Yeah, poor Proofy. Go hunting. But there's one mid-map. You might catch him there at half wall. Just go out. Oh, nope, didn't see him. You were a little bit late to the party. You've got 19 seconds left. Proofy, you can do this.
It's unbelievable how he hasn't been like spotted. Finally, he's going to take it down. But he made it actually really far.
He went the whole way from back lot, through mansion, out to mid-map, and finally someone saw him.
Yeah, usually when you get in towards that mid-map area, especially when the bomb is down, you don't last very long at all. Felony comes flying over half wall, able to take him out. Attacking from above. And we start to see that actually more, not on that particular play, like you don't see it as much there, but players just using the wall running to get really like high
vertical,
on the walls, get very vertical. Starting to see that a lot more, really throwing some players off.
It certainly does. Here we go, round 3. Things tied up 1-1. If you did miss the first game, CLG took a tight one. But now who's going to be able to step it up in S&D? This has been one of the better game types here for this particular TSM team. You saw a player trying to use the B-bomb site. There's one you saw top mansion as well via the X-ray vision. And shots coming in, trying to stay alive as Kulchan. He says, screw it, I'm going in.
But
he got stuck. He gets the kill. What a confident challenge there. And unfortunately, Wheats,
maybe that was intentional.
He puts a stick Simtex right to his behind.
Yeah, it's
uncomfortable position.
It was a great challenge by Pac-Man. He's win 1. He would have been probably traded out, but that other player up top in mansion. But Weeds sticks him in the back. So unfortunate right there for TSM. Looks like they're going to be able to move up towards that B-bomb, get it down. A CLG is just playing so heavy over towards mansion. Felony's able to get one, not able to take the player out on bomb. He jumps down, challenges, doesn't matter, able to take out Proofy as well. Wheats gets bomb down as both players by.
Wheats able to win a second gun. He challenges, my God. I don't know if he ran out of ammo or just missed all of his shots, but I saw at least one hit marker there. Wheats, stop toying with my heart, you saucy, saucy man.
Perplexed. Oh, he switches guns. Oh, with the RK5.
Oh,
Wheats was pretty hurt.
Well, if he didn't hit all of his shots, I think he was done anyway, because Wheats had not much left in his clip.
He was full
really.
red. He had barely any shots.
I like that, though. He tried to catch him off guard. If he would have ran, probably got chased down. I mean, he tries the challenge. You get 2 kills.
I tell you what, though, if he would have jumped straight up and kind of like looked over the wall instead of like coming out to the right a little bit, I think he wouldn't say gunfight.
You know, this is the reason that at one point you were a professional player.
Yes.
I don't think you saw any success, but you did a great job.
I played a COD champs.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's debatable.
That's actually 100% not debatable.
I see 0.
There's actually footage of that.
Oh, well, to each his own. There you see Methods able to pick up one. It's going to be a 3-on-2 here early. Methods and Perplexed. Now, I want to watch Perplexed. You talk about the fact he's the new guy. He's a S&D guru of sorts. Let's get into the mind of Perplexed. What's he doing right now, Matt?
Well, he's going to be rotating all the way over towards that A bomb site, trying to back up Methods as he gets up into this top kitchen area. Him and Methods working to try and take over a mansion. There's one player directly underneath him, and then the other players on TSM just going to be playing over by that B bomb site. They're watching that bunker flank, and they're watching the attack over towards B. They're going to rely on this one player behind the bomb to lock it down, and it's Proofy able to pick up one, and he's not going to get challenged right away. He actually makes it alive, so smart play by Proofy. Method just probably needed to be there a little bit faster. Wins the gunfight anyway, but still should be cut down shortly here.
And that's perfect job by Proofy. I love that because he uses the cover of the bomb. He then's like, oh, I got to kill. Uses the cover of the car. I mean, he gets flown out there, but very patient heads-up play there by Proof. Does a good job, and now you're going to see Wheats closing it out. Everything going to be tied up 2-2. I'm ready. Let's go the distance here. Let's get a game 11.
I tell you what.
Game 11, round 11. No, there were 11 games per series. I would be visiting a hospital.
Game 11 would be the longest day ever.
Best of 11. Yeah, honestly, I want a best of 11 for Optic versus FaZe. I would cast the whole thing.
I would be okay with that. And you're going to see Felony on your screen. You're going to push right down into bottom. So this is a push we see a lot of teams do. I don't want to say like online matches. Don't see it a lot during league matches.
He lost that player entirely.
Yeah, and it's going to be a gunfight won by Pac-Man at the beginning. Wheats wins the second one. BL Flyer cleans up Pac-Man, but still it's going to be a man advantage for TSM. They have Colchan trying to push here through bunker, and this is a spot you usually don't expect to be open, but at that moment in time, there's so much emphasis put on.
And it works out perfectly for him.
He's able to pick up both.
That's a nice job by Colchan. And that's just patience. It's a little bit of luck. You have them both rotating towards B. It works out perfectly.
CLG having to put a lot of pressure over towards Mansion and then having to rotate back. Some very nice shots here, though, by Colchan. So smooth with the M8. The guy can run everything. The SMG, the sniper, the AR. It's a really... he has a lot of raw skill, just like aiming.
They called him Silky Smooth in high school.
I highly doubt that.
He was the point guard for his high school varsity basketball team, codenamed Silky Smooth.
I don't know where you come up with this stuff.
I saw it in his yearbook. Let's hop into round 6. TSM now has advantage, trying to tie this series up at 1-1. Answering back is Felony. He's able to pick out one. You see him tossing a flash there towards the B site. Bomb carrier did drop. He's going to be able to pick that up. They have a 3-2 advantage. How do you want to see them play this? Well, okay, you know what?
Doesn't matter.
All right,
oh,
Felony.
Okay.
Woo!
All right.
He's laser focused, shooting lasers out of his M8. Excellent stuff there from Felony.
8-4. Woo! Shots like this. I mean, it would be tough for CLG to lose if he just keeps knocking down shots like this. I mean, back-to-back rounds in our final kill cam. We had Colchan with 2 really impressive kills with the M8. Felony answers it right back with 2 of his own. These teams just going back and forth here in search and destroy. It just shows you the kind of potential the CLG team has.
They really do, but can they close out the series has been the question mark for them all stage long. Now you see Colchan. He's going to have active camo, working his way around the outside. And you can see there's a player. That's kind of 2 players top bedroom.
Yeah,
one probably on the opposite side of the wall.
Yeah, there's one in top bedroom. There's one kind of watching them mid-cut.
Oh,
he's going to get flashed. Not able to be taken out, though. He's going to back down. Smart play by Colchan.
He had no idea where he ended up.
How powerful are those flashbangs, man?
Oh, they really, really are. You saw how dominant they can be there. I was going to say, maybe Colchan pops his camo, tries to get in and pick up a kill. Instead, he goes blind.
Yeah, and Pac-Man's already down for TSM. So, yet again, TSM playing man down in this round is CLG has the man advantage. All they have to do is just kind of stay pat here in Mansion. You don't even mind if they get the bomb down at B. If they get the bomb down at B, you expect that player over on top in bunker to flank right away. And if your Method's over there in top bunker, I think you can go. I think you can go right now.
Colchan ends up kind of sticking his backside out a little bit there and gets caught. There is a player on steps. Proofy tries to line him up, getting pushed there from top as well. It's going to be Wheats by himself. Pressure coming. Wheats gets one. He almost had some miracle plays earlier, but not going to be enough. Felony is going to close it out. Back-to-back rounds where he's going big to end things here. He got 2 to close out the last round. Gets 2 here as well. Felony putting on for the squad. I believe he's got, what, 10 kills now?
Yeah, 10-4 right now. I mean, the next highest on his team is BL Fire with 4. So Felony just doing a fantastic job here.
His back starting to ache under the weight of his carry.
He has as many kills as his other teammates combined.
Well, you know, he is good. Am I allowed to say he's getting close to a dart now? Is
how
150
many is
acceptable,
Yes,
Matt?
150 is close to a
dart. What's my cutoff where you don't yell at me? Oh, and here comes the Kinetic. He's going to pop it, fly right in. Does he catch the player on his right? He is going to win that one with Kinetic. He still has a bit left. Challenging the second. That is how you use Kinetic armor. He's got his dart.
He's going to keep
50.
pushing.
Oh, gets it as
he
well.
is feeling it right now.
For Felony. Woohoo!
No! Oh, okay. That one. He was on an 8 streak. He's just feeling himself right there, trying to challenge that gunfight against Proof. If he would have won that, you would have just went nuts.
Oh, yeah, I would have lost my mind. I would have lost a little bit of the little hair I have left as well.
Yeah, but he earns full streaks, and this does not look good for TSM. Even if Proofy is able to clutch this 2v1 scenario, you still don't like their chances to win this with a guy with full streaks on the side of CLG. CLG wins the round, goes up 5-3. 1 round away, Maven, for going up 2-0 here against the TSM team, who's been looking very good as of late.
Yeah, but I'm going to remind CLG fans, you're welcome, that this will not be the first time they've gone up 2-0 and lost the series. They need to win this one. They need a 3-0, close this out. Can they do it is the question. Here we go. Closeout round for CLG. Oh, we got to go with Felony, right? He's got all these streaks to use. They're on defense. Now, God, you think they'd be hiding to some degree. They have to either fly in a mansion or fly in a bunker, right? You can't sit out in the open. You can't.
And it looks like they're going to play a little bit over towards that snow side. He's going to opt to go with the dart here. So let's see
Watch out for the tree!
No,
yo, come on. That's the worst piloting skills I've ever seen in my life.
That is actually the worst we've seen so far during the CWL.
Right. Well, you know what, Felony?
Throws a Hellstorm out there, doesn't kill anybody as well.
Felony, you've been playing
great. It's going to be a 3v3. Actually, if TSM wins this round, it's pretty big because he burns through 2 of his streaks, doesn't get anything for it. See, flies in, able to take out Wheat's. Colchan answers with a kill of his own.
That's it.
Though the Heat Wave gets both players. And CLG able to close out and out 6-3. I can't believe he's flying with the dart.
I kind of wanted him to use the lightning strike as well, just see if he could whiff everything. He was donating the kill streaks there. Doesn't end up producing much, but hey, not to knock Felony too much because he has
a fantastic
massive game.
But his dart flying skills, like remember those little planes you got as like a kid, and then you'd like throw it and it would just kind of like loop and just kind of like crash in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's like, I remember you probably did this a lot. Like you're in high school, and this is back before when I was in high school. We didn't even have like cell phones weren't even that big a thing. Like when I was a freshman or a sophomore, like they kind of came in like a bigger later in high school. We were writing notes to each other, man. So if you thought a girl was cute, you couldn't text her like, "What's up, shorty? How you doing?" You had to like write out a freaking note, dude. You'd write out a note and be like, fold it into an airplane and be like.
How many times did that work for you?
I don't know, a bunch, man.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I did well in high school.
Good for you.
Grades.
Yeah, grades. Anyway, it's a 6-3 win by CLG. We can take a little look at the scoreboard here. Felony, 14-6. The guy just crushes. I mean, crushes in the search and destroy.
That's a massive game.
We talked about Perplex. Could he be a difference maker? Very good S&D player. He goes 3-3. I mean, Method 7-7 was really just Felony, just absolutely dominating. Puts up as many kills as the rest of his teammates combined. The side of TSM, you had Colchan 7-6. He comes to life a little bit in this one. Nothing really from the remainder of his teammates. Wheats had actually a few good rounds, but you know they're just going to need a little bit more from everybody. As you didn't even great game from Colchan in game 1. I think a little bit of lethargy, maybe looking a little bit more towards South Carolina, a little bit too much for TSM.
Could be, or it's just, I mean, how many just wins have we seen
throughout this? Really strong performance by CLG?
Yeah, or through the stage. I mean, you know, DT beating Optic, TK beating FaZe. You know, there's been all these upsets. They're happening at that drastic a level. I mean, why can't they happen here? I mean, TSM, you think a team favorite to win this? Okay, for me, it comes down to this, too. How do you feel right now if you're a TSM player? You just got signed with TSM. Thumbs up. You feel great. You've been winning a lot of matches lately. Thumbs up. You're feeling great.
This is the worst.
You don't have nearly as much to play for right now as if you're CLG, right? I feel like CLG has way more to play for.
Like, without a doubt.
Way more.
CLG's like playoff lives are on the line. Just I mean, Felony has an amazing game. Just not a great use of those score streaks. So definitely gonna have to work on that.
Trying to think if there's a horrible pilot to compare him to, but I've got nothing. I don't think pilot jokes are okay.
No. Anyway, going in a fringe uplink to CLG close it out.
Yes, because the last time I can
get into the ban and protect as
the last time I can remember fringe uplink for
oh well, that was
TSM. It's like week 1 or 2.
Week 1 they got blown out 30-1.
I'm never gonna forget that.
Yeah, but the first 2 things to go here in the ban and protect, it's gonna be Afterburner and active camo. So you're gonna see Colchan get rid of active camo. Afterburner gonna go at the hands of CLG. Overdrive you expect to go in this one. High caliber rapid fire, the 2 other standards. See the Shiva go as well. What else do you think leaves this game, maybe?
I wouldn't be surprised we see Overclock. That's been a popular one. Overdrive going to go as well. Trying to think. Probably stuns and flashes both go. You know how fast-paced people like to play uplink. I don't know if those are going to stick in. High caliber still has to go. So everything, what do we have room for 2 more?
Yeah.
Probably going to be,
Kinetic?
I would think, I would think tacticals.
Kinetic or tacticals? Something
we
along
saw
those lines.
Well, who do we see protect the tactical the first game?
We saw it was TSM protecting the Flash. It's
okay.
Pac-Man.
Actually, maybe we don't see tacticals go then. I said overclock. I forgot
So
that was still on the
overclock
board.
goes.
What's the point in hitting one tactical now? There's not really any point, is there?
No, there's not really a point. I mean, yeah, you were going to use the tacticals. I mean, you get rid of one, so kinetic goes.
Okay.
So it makes a lot of sense. So no kinetic, no overdrive, no active camo. So you expect Heat Wave. Do we see Vision Pulse in this? Maybe we see some of the Tempest or some new weapons.
Already Annihilator, so I'm assuming it's, it's probably going to end up being Annihilator, Scythe, both sides. I would love to see the Tempest. So Annihilator, Scythe, Heat Wave, and then what's your fourth here? You don't have camo, you don't have overdrive.
You're looking at stuff like Psychosis. Kinetic. You're looking at Glitch, Vision Pulse.
Vision Pulse or Psychosis. Probably Vision Pulse, if I had to guess. We'll see here. Last one coming in.
Or do we see an extra weapon?
I'm seeing Bang Bang Vision Pulse.
You think so?
Ain't no party like a Vision Pulse party, Matt.
Oh, just waiting on Wheats and Felony. You can have Psychosis on the side.
That means Felony will probably pick it too, just because, they're all copycats. Yep.
Nah, man, Felony, you got to think with your own brain.
Yeah,
you can't just keep copying, man.
The time's ticking now. He's like, oh, well, he picked that. I'm going to go with it too.
He picked Psychosis. I'm going to go with it too. So Annihilator, it's the same exact thing from both sides.
Not shocked, but this particular map and game mode, one of my favorite. I love Uplink Fringe. It can be so exciting, exhilarating, fast-paced action, usually pretty high-scoring games. You think CLG closes out? I'm going with the CLG 3-0 closeout.
I don't know. I was really high on TSM coming into this match.
I'm no longer high
after the first game, I thought they would still be able to pull this out, make it a series, probably win it. Being down 2-0 to CLG, not something I saw. I think this one, CLG could potentially close it out. I think CLG loses this map, I think there's a very good chance we see a game 5.
And yeah, that could potentially go to a game 5. And I was looking forward to. And then what's next? DT, Envy. That's actually a big one too, because of map count for Envy. I mean, it's big for DT, for obvious reasons. But when you talk about Envy, with the matchup with Optic and FaZe tonight, there's potential for even more separation for them, depending on how they close out the series. If Optic wins and it's like a 3-2 win for Envy, they could end up tied depending on how that series goes. There's a lot of implications up top.
Envy is in a great spot because they kind of, in a way, control their own destiny. They just keep playing the way they are. I mean, these other teams are just going to keep taking maps off each other. They look like a dominant force.
Well, see, what I'm not sure of, and I don't know, this isn't our call. This is purely speculation for me. But if it ends up being, they have the pro bracket at UMG coming up, if there's some kind of seeding based on this stuff, there's a ton of implications in these final matches for this week.
Without a doubt, yeah.
If that's how they do the seeding, which would make sense to me. I don't control that, but there could be some between like that 1 and 7 spot. I mean, it could just
changes. A lot of changes could happen today in the standings, so definitely want to keep your eyes on that. Obviously, we'll keep showing you standings as the day goes on.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated.
Players editing their score streaks, but just a quick kind of discussion point. Psychosis. Would you rather have one shot at using the Sparrow or the Tempest over using Psychosis 2 or 3 times? I think you can make much more impact on the game using a weapon on a map like Fringe where you can spawn trap people easily than Psychosis.
I like Psychosis in S&D. I don't really love it in other game types.
I don't love it in Uplink.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a weapon being great. I would prefer if you had maybe, well, I guess overclock. I mean, it's just as important for abilities too, right? Yeah, I mean, I could potentially see a weapon being a little bit more effective. I'm not a big Psychosis fan. Just personally, I think it's pretty good for S&D, but I don't love it.
Well, I believe when we had Parasite on, he actually said it was good on this map because of the color of the drones, right? Where it kind of can blend in a little bit.
True.
So
that's something a pro player is going to just notice more than you or I. Right. Just kind of those engagements you have. But let's kick things off. Going to start here with the man, the myth, the legend, Jonathan Tucker, Pac-Man.
And he has had a very good start to Black Ops 3. I mean, last year he had some rough moments during Advanced Warfare, but it's good to see Pac-Man bounce back, have a good start to Black Ops 3. This is a guy who has been playing competitive Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4. Really look at like players like him and Wheats and Sharp, really. And obviously some of the more the retired players that you look at, guys like Rambo and...
Did Proofius lose that one to a VMP?
Really kind of...
Yikes.
Set the the bar for competitive Call of Duty and how it should be played early on.
No, I could not agree with you more. I love to see these guys still
It's going to be
competing.
one of the easier scores you will ever see.
Wide open dunk here for Pac-Man.
Yeah.
We were just talking about him, and he's able to fly through, put 2 on the board. If you're just hopping in, it is a 2-0 lead for CLG. They're looking to close out this series here, but TSM has something to say about it. They're looking strong here in Game 3. Can they push this one in? You know, I said it from the beginning. If they go to a Game 5, I think this looks very, very good. And this player, he did not realize one snuck behind him.
No. And I tell you,
and he gets him punished, too.
The longer the series goes, it's better for TSM.
Sure.
CLG, I feel like they're a team like DT where they have just lost a bunch of heartbreaking matchups. See Colchan's trying to win some gunfights in the spawn. Yeah, it definitely did backfires. BLFire's trying to lead his drone carrier to success here. Felony able to dive in, put in a 2-point play.
I was going to question BLFire because it didn't look like he pushed out in front, you know, to kind of take the shots first, but that player ended up focusing on him anyway, so it actually worked out really, really well. But at first I was like, you're the lead blocker, get out there!
And a big gunfight right there won by Perplex. So I mean, he loses that. How many times do we see teams in uplink? They'll score the drone and they have nobody near mid-map, and the other team just answers with another quick score of their own. So Perplex playing near that drone, able to win one gunfight, trying to buy some time for his teammates. Nobody else in the kill feed, though. Can he make it around the corner and prove he's going to be able to put in a 2-point play as TSM takes another 2-point lead?
Doing an excellent job here thus far. Small advantage, but an advantage nonetheless. Watching Wheats putting shots to the player on barrel. That's a gunfight he's going to have to back down from as he's pretty darn tagged up. You can see pressure starting to...
Oh, the timing of that nade.
That's frustrating.
Yes, that's very frustrating, and you're going to see CLG try to work down the right-hand side of the map. Method, swing and a miss, swing and a miss. It doesn't matter. He's going to want his
punch him with the ball. How does he still get a kill there?
He's still alive somehow. He's going to get off a 1-point throw. Going to connect with it. So now a very interesting score right there out of Methods after 2 whiffs with the drone.
It's like you're watching a boxing match. It's like Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. They go in and just like miss their first they just miss their first 7 punches and just like give up and go to their corners. But ultimately, he's able to get the 1-pointer in. CLG within 1 point. Can they close out this series? If he sinks that, BLFire tries for the long distance toss.
Well, he's got Methods right there. There's a player to his left. Doesn't have his gun out. Now it's going to be 4 dead for CLG. See what TSM decides to do. They decide to play that drone. Never mind. They're going to wrap it out of their base. They're going to bring this one over towards that tin auto area. Very difficult
Someone needs to react to this. They only have 1 player reacting.
Yeah.
1 player has reacted. Guys, the drone's coming to the backside. I mean, thankfully he's able to slow them down. If they had realized 1 player had really gone to watch this, they probably would have just flown at him.
There's a guy in the middle of the street. You see Perplex flying in, using that heat wave. Colchan's able to just take him out with the drone. There was a player trying to come through mid-street for TSM. I wonder if they were just trying to kind of play that where they can bring it over towards auto, and throw it across towards that mid-street, and just doesn't work out in their favor.
Well, they should be able to reset this one. That is CLG, able to get it off the map here. A couple down right now for the side of TSM. Will CLG be able to take advantage? But you've got 1 player mid-map. It looks like that is Colchan with the Kuda, really just kind of wreaking havoc here around drone spawn, making it impossible for CLG to get anything done with regards to offensive pressure. He gets taken out trying to cross there to L. Now, who can get points in the final seconds? You've got under a minute to go here. Can TSM add to this lead?
Yeah, at this point, Proofy just trying to stay alive at his truck, trying to play that defense. He's going to get shut down, though. Felony with the drone in hand, has players in support. He's going to go for a 1-point throw.
That was close.
Knocks it down. I like the decision to go for 1, though. Wasn't sure if he was going to be able to force that one in for 2. Now tries to get control of the TSM base and see if they can rally some points off here late. As you see the car trying to go towards back alley. You know, there's only a few seconds left here, Maven, but the points, you know, don't come too often here in uplink. You want to see if you can actually put those in and cement them down. I would have liked to see BLFire potentially have used that site there. I mean, you only have about 27 seconds left, but you're able to pick up 2 or 3 kills in that back alley. That's another 2 points. And, you know, we talk about how effective are the weapons. BLFire picks up streaks. That's actually going to be big going in the second half. Talk about how effective the weapons can be used in certain scenarios.
Sure.
I mean, you save this site for the second half, you probably get it another time. You use it at the end, you get it once during the second half as well. If you, I don't want to say you're guaranteed points in that situation, but if he takes out the site and he kills 2 back alley, that is a guaranteed at least 1 or 2 points for CLG.
You would think. I mean,
if you can turn those weapons into guaranteed points, why not?
Minute left or so.
Oh, no, it wasn't a minute. It was more like 30 seconds. That's the only reason you can kind of question it.
Yeah, they had, really it was just Proofy, I think, kind of the last line of defense. He's the one that was able to kill 2 or 3, I think, and shut it down for the points. But I agree with you. I mean, you're going to get it a second time, but I guess the problem is, yeah, he might just not have thought he was going to get the full use out of it with the time that was remaining. You're going to have 1 down for either side. Now, Wheat's able to pick up a couple here towards Barn. The question is, can they actually get some control mounted towards Drone? The player coming off the spawn should be the player grabbing it, but now 2 players have dropped, so Proofy's now more worried about defense. Wheats, on the other hand, has snuck into the back of the base, playing back rock. They, well, I take back the word sneak. They were ready for that.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how BLFire uses those streaks as time goes on. Obviously, tie game here very early into the second half. How he elects to use those streaks, whether they're offensively or defensively, definitely will be interesting to watch. And you see Proofy just trying to throw that drone for yards down the right-hand side. It's going to be Colchan with it in his hands. Oh, it's BLFire. Comes around the outside of 2 players, but still,
the 1-pointer.
It's a 1-point throw that goes in for TSM as they take a 1-point lead.
Yeah, good job there. They got 4 down, I think it was, and then just opted to push through tracks. They're able to get 1 on the board. We've got Methods now mid-map with an Annihilator, just trying to play sneaky here on truck. Not going to work, as that's going to be a grenade connecting from Colchan, just shutting down the Annihilator. And that's what's so scary about using those weapons, man. If you pop them and don't get a lot of use, it really feels like a waste. BLFire gets around the corner. There's 1 more at home. 3 down. Methods the only man up. No one in a position here to flush that one through. Drone going to be falling now to Pac-Man.
He's going to bring this one all the way down tracks, and players setting up at the end. BLFire likes to pull the scythe out. Now looks like there's going to be a scythe
outside
Proofy's zone at the end of tracks. You see Proofy's able to pick up 2. Wade's getting 1. The drone trying to be pushed up the map by Felony. He's trying to make a little bit of a hero play there. He gets taken out by Waits, and the drone starting to be wrapped around towards this left-hand side of the map by TSM. Love the route they're taking here.
Yeah, it was great. Wheats kind of locked down mid-map. Proofy had it locked down with his sight. That didn't get out of his
it does. It does get out of his hands.
They end up getting 2. I couldn't tell if he actually got the toss off. They're going to be able to take a 2-point advantage. You know how much bigger that is than 1. At least kind of forcing that 2-point advantage, forcing that potential dunk or 2 1-point tosses. But now they're trying to get pressure of their own. CLG getting forward. That's BLFire making plays. 75 points off his HC. He picks that up. He's got drone in hand. There's 1 more in the back of the base. He tries to push it, needs some help, not able to get it through. And that's the second time we've seen BLFire in a position to pick up 3 to 4 kills and make a hero play, but has no one else to help him.
Yeah. It's a rough go here in the second half thus far for CLG, and BLFire's did a tremendous job in both respawns. He had a very good game in the hardpoint, now having a great game in the uplink as well. Just needs a little bit help here. In the final minutes, you have Methods at 11 and 17. Maybe let's jump on board, see what's going on with him right now. Really struggling, and we talk about how hard it is to play. It's so hard to play an SMG role here on Fringe.
Well, they're starting to get forward now. Felony set up a white truck, gonna have 1 coming. Well,
they got 1 player set up, but look at where everybody else is on the map for the team. There's nobody even close to kind of support him. I mean, nobody close to the drone. Now you see BLFire push up, but it's a little bit late. You're gonna see him use this lightning here. Methods picks up 1.
Well, they need a dunk. They've got a minute 40 to work with. Can he catch anyone off spawn? Everyone's kind of stacked in behind Grandma. So look at this defense. They've got players everywhere, but as they pick up a couple kills, this could be a good opportunity. Methods just gonna be waiting it out. He gets the call. We picked up some kills. BLFire and Perplex gets some. Perplex gets 2, and that should be Dunk City able to flush 1 through. Looking like Vince Carter. Methods putting 1 on the board. Tied up, a minute 20 left.
And they have 1 player mid-map actually gonna be able to get the drone again, and you see BLFire in the base of TSM with Perplex. Perplex gets taken out. BLFire drops as well. Not able to convert that one into points. The drone gonna go back towards mid-map, but 1 minute left, Maven. You know what this reminds me of? The Envy versus Optic Gaming one, where Envy was able to score in the last few seconds on this side. Potentially CLG could score here in the final seconds. Sneak out a 3-0 win versus TSM, which would be huge. You see Felony
that's 3 down. That's 3 down.
1. BLFire with another. Perplex with a 3rd. Pac-Man needs to go big here. Uses Heat Wave mid-map. How many players does he connect with on that? It looks like he connected with Methods. Does he slow them down enough? I believe he does.
I think he did. I was going to say this play is crazy. There goes the over-the-top toss, and he gets it through. CLG's going to make it.
Play by Methods
1 point advantage, 7-6. Methods, pal. I don't care that you're 13 and 21. You're able to sink that one through.
Yeah, I mean, you're able to make up a lot of bad plays in the scoreboard or bad stats by making plays like that. And 20 seconds left. The drone actually goes into the hands of CLG. They're going to play up for yards.
Pushes it
up
through.
the map. And look at this play by Perplex. He's actually not going to play for the drone. He's going to wait, see if he can kill players out. But it's going to be Pac-Man wrapping this over towards
Look at it.
All four members of CLG are around him. There's no way he's getting through here.
Should be done. Should be game. 3 seconds and everyone's dead around the drone. CLG getting the 3-0, closing things out against TSM. And that's what I said, man. They had to close this out game through.
Yeah, they had to win that
distance.
one. They lose this map to TSM. You can see this one having game 5 written all over it. We highlighted him maybe a few seconds before he makes a big play, but Methods comes up big. The captain of CLG knocks down that 1-point throw in the final seconds.
And I was about to, for a second, I was going to criticize Pac-Man. I didn't notice the heat wave at first. Like, I didn't notice he had it ready.
It's a great use of heat wave.
So he goes to fly out. I'm like, why? Well, right before that, I'm like, last man in defense. And Pac-Man just goes, all right, and soars out. But that heat wave,
it bought a ton of time.
It did. I think it connected with at least 2 players, gave them time for the teammates to spawn and potentially pick up kills. But I mean, Methods did the right choice. Do you take your time and play for control again, or just toss it into the 1-pointer?
The thing with TSM is after he heat waves those guys, they kind of ramp back to their goal. But with that, at that point of the game, I mean, what, 25, 30 seconds left? All CLG needed was a 1 point to put them up ahead, and then they just need to play for like 1 reset, and you're good. At that point, I think when those players are heat waved, somebody needs to get up top grandma with an AR and challenge these players in the mid-street.
Incredible game, though. CLG able to take the victory.
BL Fire put up some silly numbers.
Big matchup for sure with these guys. Let's just take a look real quickly at the scoreboard, check out some highlights, and then we're going to start to get primed and loaded for Dream Team versus Team Envious coming up.
33-18 out of BL Fire puts together 2 really good respawn games. One in the hard point, obviously the first game of the series, and then the closing game here, the uplink on the side of TSM. Pac-Man 15-24. I thought he made some good situational plays. The rest of the team did well. I mean, TSM just loses I don't want to say like a heartbreaking game, but you know, all these games pretty close. CLG just does a great job closing out an opponent. This is the first time I've seen CLG like really close out an opponent. Obviously, this is only their 2nd win, but no, they've had.
My question was going to be, this is their first 3-0, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's safe to assume.
But in other games, they've had like really good performances like this, and then they just let TSM or another team win in the final seconds.
I believe they've gone up 2-0 twice and lost both.
Yeah.
Or gone up 2-0 twice and lost twice.
Yeah.
Not 100% confident of that, but I know I casted the one with H2K. I believe that happened to them another time. So, yeah, that's why we kind of kept saying they got to close it out. They got to close it out, and they did. Big game for BL Fire. He was on fire. I mean, really, it was to a degree some individual performances. You saw Felony go big in that game too, have a massive S&D. Then BL Fire goes really big here. Yeah. But we talked about pre-game, Methods, the leader, has to go big, has to make those clutch plays.
He comes up huge.
Sinks the 1-point shot,
there with the 1-point shot at the end of that uplink.
He certainly does, but we've got a ton of more action. Like I said, Dream Team coming up next. Their only dream